I start out with people's origin stories, where they're from, where they were born. But so tell me about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Bremerton, which is only an hour away from here. I moved to Seattle when I was 22 to go and start beauty school when there was a Gene Juarez still around. Getting old. But yeah, and I moved to Madison Park right on the water with one of my good friends, and it was like the coolest place ever, and it wasn't too expensive. It was a beautiful view. Got to drive through the Arboretum every day. I really enjoyed life in Seattle during those days. It was a lot easier than it is now. My dad was actually born in Seattle. My grandfather was vice president of a union, and him and my grandmother got married. I don't know what year, but I know they were at the World's Fair when the Space Needle was presented to Seattle. They're my dad's side of the family. They're like Greek Catholic. There's quite a few of them, and he grew up pretty privileged, kind of spoiled. Kind of had, everything handed to him, and so he never really grew up. And my mom was kind of in the same situation with her family. She didn't have a mom, and her dad felt guilty, so he kind of spoiled her. And so I kind of had two friends as parents. So I kind of felt like I raised myself in a lot of ways.
Any siblings or just you?
Oh no, there's a couple of siblings, and it sounds weird, but I have 5 siblings, but I'm the only one that has my mother and father. If that makes any sense.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
That means that my mom had me and 3 other girls, and my dad had me and 2 boys, like with another woman.
Okay.
The funny thing is that my stepmom's name was Shelly, and my mother's name was Kelly, and I was like, wow, Dad, okay. Try not to get in trouble there or what? It was funny.
Well,
but yeah.
So tell me about growing up with all these siblings.
Oh, I hated them. I had 3 sisters, and they were just like not cool at all. Like, they stole all my stuff, they stole my clothes. My older sister tried to steal my boyfriend. She was super jealous of me. The younger 2 are just like little terrorists. But yeah, we didn't really get along too well when we were younger. But as we got older, we definitely grew closer. Me and my older sister are not even 2 years apart, and then she ended up, like she always did, copying me and having a baby exactly a year and 2 days after mine was born. So, that was kind of cool. That brought us close. And yeah, the younger 2, there's a nice little age gap there. So it was kind of like the older 2 kind of raised the younger 2, or more or less looked out for them, free babysitters. And yeah, I don't know. My mom, she was an addict, and she kind of... she put a lot of effort into her first set of children, girls, and then her second set, she got a little tired and maybe, worn out a little bit. So there's kind of a big difference between the 2.
Now, how did you know she was an addict?
'Cause she was always very open about it. Mm-hmm. Like, weed was just like something that she did, and like we knew, like when her friends would come over, to leave them alone because they'd be out in her room smoking a joint or doing whatever. And as I got older and realized that, it was a drug, I knew that I wasn't like warned that it was bad. It's like she never said that. She just like, made it seem like it's something adults do.
Well, Chandra, I have to put a pause in there, and some people don't think it's bad, or some people don't even think it's that drug.
I think it depends on how it affects your life.
Yeah, that's right.
Because, I've been addicted to marijuana before, and that sounds so stupid, but, like my mental health, depended on it. Like, I needed it, or I was going to have a panic or anxiety attack, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of it was just mental, because obviously there's not, a whole lot of physical withdrawals or anything, but, I wasn't, selling my things off for it, or, not able to keep a job, but still... my mom definitely needed to smoke, because when she did it, she was just, not very easy to get along with. So we kind of encouraged that.
I mean, the world of addiction goes lots of places, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Working out, work, sugar, all kinds of things.
Yeah, I believe every single person is addicted to something.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
Well, tell me about your 20s. What was going on in your 20s?
Finishing hair school, and, kind of became a mother and a wife. Did that for a while.
You got married, had a child, and
had two within 2 years.
Boys, girls,
one of each, just like I wanted. I was living the dream, and yeah, I kind of made the mistake of marrying a mama's boy. My husband, he thought it was cool, keep mom around, she'll pay for everything, but like still it just kind of like set us up for failure, I think, because she was just like there, like everything that was like my first, she would make about her, like my first Mother's Day was like where we went to eat where she wanted to go. I'm like, lady, you've had like 30 of these, like, and everything was always a fight with her. And eventually I wanted to move my kids back home where I grew up because it's a lot cheaper over there, and I was living in Kirkland paying almost $2,000 a month for a $500,000 condo with my 3 and 5-year-old, and I got so much grief from my neighbors and just like every little step they took that I felt like this wasn't the right place to be raising them. And like where I grew up was kind of out like in the woods, and like we didn't have to worry about our neighbors, you know what I mean? Like we had space and room to run, and like we could be as loud as we wanted to be as long as we were home by dark. But I wanted to give my kids that, I wanted to give them that. And that just backfired. My mother-in-law went and got a lawyer and had me served while I was living with her, which was really weird, and took me to court, and they wanted to fight me for custody. And so my ex-husband was actually using heroin without my knowledge, and I was actually clean at the time, and he didn't want to take the UA, and I had no problem offering to take it. And so he tricked me and lied to me and told me if I settled out of court, I could still have the kids, for the same amount of time, which of course in the end was not the case. He went back on his word, and they ended up making me the every other weekend parent after, I was a full-time mom, and I also worked a job, and I loved being a mom. I never neglected my kids. I always put them first. Not one person could ever say that I was a bad mother. And it just it broke me so bad, and so I had to accept that for a while, and eventually it just kind of turned into this.
Well, let's sit there for a little bit. I have 2 little girls, and I could not imagine losing my kids. And how old were your kids when this happened?
4 and 6.
What was that like for you?
Totally devastating. I still think about it almost every day. My son turned 4 maybe a couple weeks after that, and I still remember talking to him on the phone and him asking me when I was going to be there. And I had to tell him I wasn't coming, and it's this was 10 years ago, and it just really kills me.
It's traumatic.
Oh yeah. But I don't think anyone ever gets over things like that.
No, there's a lot of parents out here that have kids and long for their kids.
Yeah. I mean, I try to get high and I try to numb myself, but drugs aren't enough to heal that pain or even take it away for a minute,
Yeah, it just is temporary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's hard. What you quickly said, and then I started to use.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't till, I was able to kind of keep that going for a few years, but I started finding myself becoming kind of obsessive, or boy crazy, I guess. I was trying to fill that void, and I got in a relationship that wasn't exactly healthy, and I was actually sober at the time, and then I met someone that was a functioning addict. He was a land surveyor Monday through Friday and party drug dealer on the weekend, and he'd been doing that for 20 years and seemed to manage fine. And I thought, I could do that too, which wasn't the case, because eventually, we were both just sitting on the couch, but we pretty much had everything we needed because he was, made a business with what we were getting high on. So
yeah, he had money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Yeah.
Well, so you were housed this whole time.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. He definitely saved my ass the last couple years. If it wasn't for my boyfriend, I definitely would have been out here a lot sooner.
Well, let's transition into how you got out here.
I was off and on with him, staying with him, and then I'd go rent a room somewhere, and then I'd fuck it up somehow because I was using at this time, and off and on different jobs. I cut hair for 15 years, and
so you have a chair at a salon.
Yeah.
different salons.
Yep. And I couldn't keep a job for too long before I'd do something dumb and like get fired or quit. And it just, I mean, like they say, it's a progressive disease, and it definitely is. I became unfunctioning at a certain point, you know, and I couldn't have all my balls in the air at the same time anymore. And it was obvious that, like, I had a problem, you know. He tried so desperately to get me clean because that's who I was when he met me, and he felt so guilty that, like, you know, he thought that I was the reason, or he was the reason that I had relapsed, and it wasn't him, but I mean, he definitely made things a lot easier, you know. I didn't pay for drugs for like 4 years. That was kind of nice. But yeah, he tried to send me off to rehab and detox and all these different places, and I wasn't ready. And he kept saying he was going to get clean, but he didn't until the bitter end. After 4 years of this, like, he finally went and kicked 30 blues a day habit, which was pretty impressive. And he stayed clean, and he still to this day is 100% clean. I went and got on methadone, which was kind of like, at the time I thought it was a good thing to do, but it really wasn't. It was just a bandage, you know. Because once I got kicked off the program for, again, stupid reasons, I, you know, just went right back out. I was renting a room after him and I kind of separated because I didn't want to bring him down with me, you know, so I kind of separated myself from him because I knew what path he was wanting to be on, and I didn't want to have anything to do with keeping him from meeting his goals or being successful with his recovery. Sorry. I don't know why I'm doing that. I just lost my train of thought.
That's
All
okay.
this chaos going on around me.
I think
It's kind of ADD.
it's a little louder here. The transition to becoming housed to unhoused.
Oh, yeah.
What did that look like?
So I was renting a room from this Asian guy in Newcastle, over by Bellevue, and it was fine, you know, and I was working full time and seeing my kids when I was supposed to. And then all of a sudden my landlord, like, said he needed the room back for his his toddler son. And so he was like renting rooms out in the house. There was like 2 other people that were renting rooms as well as myself. And so he gave me like a week and a half's notice, and like I had a job, but like I didn't have anything saved because I wasn't planning on, you know, needing a large amount of money at any point in the near future. So, I mean, I continued to work for like the first month, but eventually, like, I had couches to kind of hop on the first couple months, but eventually it was like just, you know, from my 3.5-inch pillow, a memory foam mattress, to the concrete with no pillow. It was pretty hard.
And that was the first time you became unhoused.
Yeah, like I had never in my life knew what hustling was, or like having to do anything illegal to have to, you know, survive a day, or like have to steal my food or my clothes, and like people are not cool with that at all. I mean, I've never been treated so badly in my life, and like I hate to say it, but my mom had 4 girls, and I was always considered the pretty one. And now that I look back at, like, you know, my original self, like, I wish I would have appreciated, you know, my beauty when I feel like I did have it. Because people are always, you know, like, judging me based on my looks, and it was never a bad, like, you know, I never got any grief, or no one was mean to me because I was gorgeous, like, you know what I mean? But I didn't really like it. I hated the attention because of the way I looked. But now it's, like, completely opposite. Like... like asking a person what time it is, and they like feel like you don't deserve to know because you're not a human, or like,
so they're judging you on your looks in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And tell me about, you just talked about earlier going into Fred Meyer.
Oh God, everywhere I go. And the weird thing is that when I'm not stealing is when I'm always accused and like kicked out of a store. And like I try to defend myself, like, okay, why don't you go back and watch the videotape and then come apologize, or I'll open my bag to prove to them like I didn't steal anything, you're lying. But it doesn't matter to them, like they're all of them against me, so like my word doesn't seem to matter. And like every time I do steal, no one says a damn word to me, but every time I'm not, it's like I have to go through that bullshit, and it's like, God, why don't I just steal it then? Fuck. You know, if you're gonna punish me for the crime, I might as well do the crime. I don't know. I hate stealing, honestly. Like, when I have money in my pocket, I can't. It's just like, I just can't do it. And I kind of wish I would.
Well, it's like you were talking earlier, like no one should have to steal to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're in Seattle.
Exactly.
Like, this is a rich United States of America. Like, well, why you just shouldn't have to do that?
Yeah.
No one should.
Like, tell me why Dunkin' Donuts has to throw away like a full batch of donuts every night, but they have to place it into the garbage because, God forbid, they couldn't set them on the sidewalk. It's like, what the fuck? You have to contaminate them before you can donate them? Like, really?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I mean, like a garbage bag, like, and they're all fresh, like they just came out of the oven. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is the worst. Like, I've kind of enjoyed being homeless in a few ways, like diggling, they like to call it.
What do they call it?
Diggling.
Uh-huh.
Like, I refuse to go inside of a dumpster, or if it's real gross, I won't even go near it. But the shit that you find, like, people throw everything away in this city, and it's really gross. It's sad.
Well,
like, just
Seattle's known, people leave stuff on the sidewalk, and and again, it's like if you can use it, great.
I mean, I just found like that new like flip, the Samsung, the flip phone thing, like just like on the sidewalk, and no one ever called it or tried to like leave a message on it. And I was like, well, this is so weird, dude. It's like a $2,000 phone. Why is this a joke? Is someone trying to film me? Like, what's going on? Am I gonna get arrested if I pick it up? But yeah, I pretty much find just about anything and everything I need. It's kind of how I've made it work out here.
Well, a couple things. You still talk to your kids, your children?
I do. Unfortunately, I had a phone. Everyone keeps getting these free phones, and I had to pay out of pocket for mine because they keep saying my social security number and my name aren't matching it up. And then they really offend me when they ask me, "Are you sure you have the right number?" And I'm like, I'm 40 years old. If I had the same number for 40 years, I'd hope so. Like, just because I do drugs doesn't mean I'm retarded. But apparently, we're all the same. But yeah, I was talking to him pretty regularly, which was great because it just hurt so bad. Some jerk off went in my bag and took my phone and went and sold it at the kiosk at Fred Meyer in Greenwood. And like, I haven't been able to talk to my kids since, and that was probably 3 weeks ago.
How old are they now?
16 and 14.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I know. And it just kills me because I can only imagine like how they're feeling or what they're thinking. And, I don't want to put that stress on them to worry about me, but I know I am no matter what I do. Because I've tried to stay away from them, to be honest with you. Because I don't like them seeing me like this, because this is not what mom looks like, or mom, you know what I mean?
Well, tell me about that. What does mom look like? What does mom want to be?
I just want to
them?
be mom. I just want to be able to take care of them. I don't care if I ever meet another man ever again. Like, I will totally die by myself, but I just want to brush my daughter's hair for school or curl it for her next dance. Like, go to all my son's games. Like, I just want to be able to talk to them and know every single detail about them and their lives, And I'm in such like a horrible place with them because I just want to like tell them everything, but I also want to keep them sheltered. I don't want them to know that there's any evil in this world or that, things are anything but rainbows and butterflies, And I mean, obviously, eventually, probably very soon, I have to be honest with them. But the crazy thing is that so far they've been so unjudging of me and so just like, they're not mad at me at all. And I feel like I don't deserve that, And they're just so sweet and just, oh my God, it just kills me. They're such great children. Like, I look at them like they're the most precious thing in the world to me, and I don't deserve them, And I have a really hard time living life without them. And I don't have much time left because after, 18, who wants their mom hanging on them, like making their lunches? Well, besides their dad anyway. He still lives at home. He's 40. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's gross.
It's all right.
But I'm just so afraid. Like, I've missed, like, basically the last, 5 years with them. And I don't want to miss any more time. And I want to get clean. I don't want to live this life anymore. Like, I know it's gonna hurt to get clean, you know, for the last time, but like I'm willing to go through that pain 1,000 times more just to get back to my kids. You know, and I want my kids to know that they're worth it. Because I think my mom would still be here if she felt that way.
Yeah.
But she, God.
Well, I think that sounds like a rough road, but you've done it before.
I have.
And you know what
Not
it's like.
from this, like, I've never been here. Like, this is probably definitely my, you know, rock bottom, they like to say.
Well, I should say, I guess what I meant was like you've taken the road to be clean.
Yeah,
before,
absolutely.
Right? Not from here, maybe. Yeah, tell me about from here. Where you living?
right where you're at. Basically in my living room right now. I sleep wherever I can. Because of people like him. That guy's evil. Anyway, yeah, just wherever I can and like try to feel safe, you know? Because there's a lot of weirdos at night and like obviously someone that's trying to hurt homeless women out here. So I've just tried to be more aware of what's going on. I try to sleep in like, you know, kind of public, busier areas. So that way, like if someone was to try to mess with me, I would, you know, there would be other people by that could maybe possibly intervene rather than being somewhere where no one could hear me scream.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's pretty scary out here, but I do feel extremely fortunate because I don't think any other girl can say what I'm about to say. Like, nothing real bad has happened to me. And I don't know if it's because of my street smarts or my common sense or the fact that my mom is my ultimate guardian angel, mama bear, like, really protecting me. Because I've heard some really fucked up shit that's happened in a lot of men, too. And I just feel really lucky, and I hope my luck doesn't change before I get out of the situation.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Seriously. Because things are not what they used to be. Your kids can't just go ride their bikes and come home when it gets dark out, you know? Things are definitely a lot different.
Chandra, is there anything you'd want the people of Seattle to know?
That not everybody's the same. And then, you know, like Tupac says, like, only God can judge us. And you're going to go to hell for being a judgmental asshole. So don't be one. Like, seriously, none of us wanted this for ourselves. Nobody, when they're a child, thought, like, when I grew up, I want to be a homeless drug addict and a loser and just a total waste of space. And nobody wanted that. Everyone has had some tragedy in their life that has got them to this point. So maybe a little compassion would help just a little bit more. Like, I totally understand their frustration. Like, I can't stand what they're doing to the city. But it's not even just them, though. And I think a lot of people are forgetting about the fact that a lot of these people are mentally ill and they have no help or nobody assisting them. And, like, they're obviously having a hard time taking care of themselves, you know? But, like, anything going wrong with the city is blamed on us. And it's like, I just don't get it, you know? I mean, obviously, the grass is never greener, like they say. But I just, like, look at these people, and I'm just like, your life is so comfortable. You're never cold. You're never hungry. You have everything at your, you know, like, whenever you want it. Like, what are you so pissed about? And why are you taking it out on us? You know what I mean? And I've just never been like that towards people. I've never looked at a person and judged them based on the way they look. I'll judge them based on them as a person once I get to know them, absolutely. But I just don't judge books by their cover because you never know. Like, looks can be very deceiving. And we're not all the same. Like, I'm probably the cleanest homeless girl you'll ever meet. I always clean up my mess and I won't shit on your doorstep. Like, seriously. It's a problem, and, you know, that's something they should be more worried about. Like, where are the bathrooms?
That's a great question.
Like, or the garbage cans. Like, you know, like, what are we supposed to do out here?
That's a great question.
But we do appreciate people that are, like, I've met a few people, and I won't ever forget them, that have came to me without judgmental eyes and, you know, just wanted to help, you know, because to them might just seem so tragic. Oh my God, are you okay? I had this woman last week. I was in my sleeping bag, all cuddled up in her carport up in Greenwood, and I wake up to her like screaming because she thought I like OD'd or something, and I was just like, "Are you talking to me?" Like, I don't know many people that cuddle up in their sleeping bag before they overdose, but anyway, she was really sweet. Like, she was just a little like overreacting a little bit, but maybe she had some sort of tragedy or something. But she went to the store and brought me back Girl Scout cookies and $20. So I was like, she's cool.
Nice.
And then she checked on me the next day. So I was like, right on, you know. I try to be nice to people just so that they don't think we're all rotten.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like stereotypes are there for a reason. I get it, but you know, just, you know, there's not two people that are the same.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just say everyone that doesn't have a home is this type of person or that type of person.
Well, that's
It's
like
just not
saying
fair.
everyone who has a home is like this type of person.
Exactly.
It just doesn't work. Chandra,
No. And we're in the biggest city of diversity in the world. Like, you'd think people would be a little more open-minded.
Yeah.
I mean, we got aliens here, we got Bigfoot. Like, what else do you need? We got monsters, apparently, and all kinds of weird shit. Like,
Yeah.
you'd think people would be a little more open-minded and accepting to things they don't understand.
Yeah, in such a liberal city, right?
Seriously.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank
It's
you.
good to hear
I
your
really
voice.
appreciate you.
You're worth it. You're not just a
Thank
waste
you.
of space. You have a voice, you have a story, you have value, you have worth.
Thank you.
You are a mom and a person, so
That's all I care to be.
yeah. Are you open for a hug?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take care of yourself.
You're awesome, dude.